Whatever you do, don't, under any circumstances.
Russ.
Yeah.
Can you take a look at this?
Sure.
Mr. and Mrs. Smith.
You still alive, baby?
In Mr. and Mrs. Smith, Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie played a married couple who discover that the other is an assassin. With stakes like that, confrontation is inevitable.
You ain't as bad as you're cooking, sweetheart.
Things come to a head in their sprawling suburban home, with both characters armed to the teeth thanks to an armada of weapons hidden in various spots around the house. Fight scenes between a man and a woman often feature sensual undertones, but this one may as well have had a giant neon sign screaming "sex is imminent."
Come to dad.
This is Pitt and Jolie at their absolute sexiest, going toe-to-toe in a battle to the death. However, it isn't too long before love and lust get in the way. Buzzcut Brad Pitt, you have our approval. Of Benjamin Button.
Are you here to pick somebody up? Why did you come back?
Heartbreaking. That's how we describe this scene in which a digitally de-aged Brad Pitt returns to his Daisy. The Curious Case of Benjamin Button is about two lovers aging in opposite directions, a situation that audiences knew could only end one way. Despite Daisy's pleas for Benjamin to stay away, knowing his presence will only cause her despair, he returns, now just a teenager. Pitt plays the scene with a quiet grace, knowing his character shouldn't be there. Pitt was in his mid-40s at the time, so watching the film turn back the clock to reveal a man who resembles the one we all fell in love with in the early 90s was a truly special moment.
You were so much younger.
Only on the outside.
I was not ready for this list today, or any day for that matter. If you think you can handle more, including Brad Pitt being a perfect Achilles, here are some honorable mentions.
Is there no one else? Get Dax. Do you like Dax?
Dags.
What?
Yeah, Dax.
Dax. Do you like Dax?
Oh, dogs. Sure. I like dags. I like caravans more.
How can you not be romantic about baseball? Here's a number. Every 1% unemployment goes up, 40,000 people die. Did you know that?
No.
Did you know that?
No, I didn't know that.
We're just excited.
Why do you think we failed? Because we were leading separate lives? Or was it all the lying that did us in?
I have a theory. Newly formed.
I'm breathless to hear it.
You killed us.
Provocative.
Hollywood. Full disclosure, we were already madly in love with Brad Pitt long before we saw him in this scene from Quentin Tarantino's self-proclaimed magnum opus, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. The scene in question features a shirtless Pitt fixing a TV antenna, and while it's hardly the first time the actor's bared his upper body on screen, having memorably done so in films like Troy and Fury, it's the way he goes about the seemingly innocuous task that truly wins us over. From strapping on his tool belt like an Old West gunslinger preparing for the final shootout, to the way he effortlessly scales the walls of the property, Pitt shows us that despite his age, he's still every bit the movie star he was 20 years ago. Some have described Brad Pitt as being a character actor trapped in the body of a movie star, with his performance in Burn After Reading often cited as a prime example. Pitt plays Chad Feldheimer, a witless personal trainer who attempts to blackmail former CIA analyst Osborne Cox after coming across a disc loaded with what he believes is classified information.
I don't know who the guy is.
The guy?
The guy. The secret guy.
During a phone call with Cox, Feldheimer's ineptitude is on full display, as he deepens his voice to sound menacing and repeatedly says Cox's full name.
Osborne Cox.
Yes. Who is this?
Is this Osborne Cox?
Pitt hams it up throughout the film, but few scenes had us in stitches quite like—
Oh? Why so uptight, Osborne Cox? I'm just a good Samaritan, a traveler on the road.
What? Hey, look here. This is James. Now, do me a favor. You just show him around, tell me TV rules, show me games and stuff, okay? How much you gonna pay me? How much?
In preparation for his role in 12 Monkeys, Pitt spent time at Temple University Hospital, specifically the psychiatric ward, interacting with and studying the patients and environment.
Games. Here's some games. Games you want to get out. See? More games. Games, they vegetize you.
All that research paid off, as the role netted Pitt his first Academy Award nomination and a Golden Globe Award for Best Supporting Actor. While Pitt is fantastic throughout the film, this scene is on a whole other level. It's here that the audience is introduced to Jeffrey Goins for the first time in all his manic, paranoid glory. Goins is basically a pre-Tyler Durden Tyler Durden, minus the swagger, and Pitt infuses him with the same energy and gusto he'd later use to bring the Fight Club antagonist to life. Speaking of which, number 7, I Want You to Hit Me, Fight Club. With Fight Club, Brad Pitt created a character that was so charismatic, so stimulating, so refreshing, audiences never thought for a second that he wasn't real. Spoiler alert for those of you still living in the 20th century.
I want you to do me a favor. Yeah, sure. I want you to hit me as hard as you can. What?
Tyler Durden's introductory scene was enough to pique the narrator's interest, but it's this scene in which Durden asks, nay, demands the narrator hit him as hard as he can, that ultimately reeled him, not to mention the viewer, in.
I want you to hit me as hard as you can. Let me tell you a little bit about Tyler Durden.
Pitt is so effortlessly cool in this scene, it's a wonder he didn't spontaneously combust, only to reveal he'd been James Dean all along. Contrasted with Edward Norton's bland narrator, which actively heightens Durden's allure, Pitt delivers one of his and True Romance sees Brad Pitt playing a stoner by the name of Floyd in one of the actor's earliest film roles.
Hey, you wanna watch some TV or something? That might be back here. No, thank you. Thank you. Okay.
It's a bit part in a star-studded movie, but Pitt elevated what could have been a one-note character and turned him into one of our favorite cinematic stoners of all time. While getting high, Floyd is visited by a crew of mobsters who are looking for protagonist Clarence Worley. Floyd's initial reaction to the gun-toting associates is to giggle uncontrollably, but it isn't long before he's willingly offering them prized information and asking if they'd like a toke.
You know Clarence Worley? Yes. You know where we can find him? Yes, I do.
When asking how he got into character, this speech, Inglourious Bastards. In Brad Pitt's first collaboration with Quentin Tarantino, he played Lieutenant Aldo Raine, the leader of a World War II military unit made up of Jewish American soldiers.
My name is
Lieutenant Aldo Raine, and I'm putting together a special team, and I need me 8 soldiers. 8 Jewish American soldiers.
In this scene, Raine tells his men that they are to be dropped behind enemy lines in order to sabotage, confuse, and terrorize the German army from within.
And the German will be sickened by us. And the German will talk about us. And the German will fear us.
It's easily one of the best character introductions in all of Tarantino's impressive filmography, and Pitt, sporting a thick southern accent, delivers his lines with the perfect mixture of vitriol and humor. Pitt gets a chance to show off his Italian accent later in the film with, mixed results.
Correct.
How to Converse, Ocean's 11. Of all the characters Brad Pitt has played, Rusty Ryan might just be the coolest. When we first meet him, he's teaching celebrities how to play poker, and from that point on, he remains cool, calm, and collected, regardless of the circumstances.
I'm a 4. You don't want 4. You want to fold. You want to fold?
So he was a natural fit to teach Matt Damon's bumbling pickpocket Linus Caldwell how to stay relaxed during a very important sit-down with antagonist Terry Benedict.
I ask you a question, you have to think of the answer. Where do you look? No good. You look down, they know you're lying. And up, they know you don't know the truth.